Hello, fellow travellers of the digital realm. As darkness falls around us tonight, I want to transport you to a world where survival hangs by the thinnest of threads, where the very air itself becomes a weapon against human endurance. Before we begin this journey together, I'd be grateful if you'd take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel, but only if our explorations genuinely resonate with you. I'm also curious about where you're joining us from tonight, so please share your location and local time in the comments below. Now let's dim these modern lights and step back in time. Picture this. I find myself standing at the edge of an endless North American plain, where winter has claimed dominion over every inch of the landscape. The wind doesn't merely blow here, it screams across the flatlands with a voice that seems intent on stripping away every trace of warmth, every spark of life. My face feels the sharp bite of air so cold it might as well be liquid nitrogen, and each breath I draw sends crystalline daggers down my throat. The landscape stretches before me in an unbroken expanse of white and grey, a monochrome world where the horizon blurs into nothingness. Snow crunches beneath my feet with a sound like breaking glass, and I can feel the cold seeping through my boots, claiming my toes inch by frozen inch. The silence here is not peaceful. It's oppressive, broken only by the relentless whisper of wind dragging itself across the frozen earth. But wait. There, in the distance, something catches my eye. A thin column of smoke rises defiantly into the steel-grey sky, a beacon of hope in this frozen wasteland. That smoke speaks of fire, of warmth, of human ingenuity triumphing over nature's cruelest season. As I begin walking toward it, each step a monumental effort against the deep snow, my mind wanders to those who once called this impossible landscape home. The indigenous peoples of these plains weren't just survivors, they were masters of winter warfare against the elements themselves. While European explorers would later struggle and often perish in conditions like these, Native American tribes had spent countless generations perfecting the art of turning this frozen hell into something livable, even comfortable. As I trudge forward, my breath forming clouds that freeze and fall like snow, I consider the buffalo hide tipis that once dotted these plains by the thousands. These weren't merely tents, they were engineering marvels born of necessity and refined through centuries of trial and deadly error. The mainstream historical accounts tell us that a single lodge required up to 14 buffalo hides, each one carefully selected, prepared, and sewn with sinew thread that could withstand the tremendous forces of prairie winds. But here's something fascinating that many overlook. These tribes didn't just build shelters, they built systems. The women who created these lodges were architects in every sense, understanding concepts of aerodynamics, thermal dynamics, and structural engineering that wouldn't be formally codified by Western science for centuries. They knew exactly how to angle the hide covering to shed wind, how to position the entrance to minimize heat loss, and how to create interior spaces that could maintain warmth even when the outside temperature plummeted to levels that could kill an exposed human in minutes. The smoke ahead grows thicker as I approach, and I can begin to make out shapes in the white expanse. My imagination fills in the details of what I might find there. A winter village, perhaps, with lodges arranged in a carefully planned circle that maximizes protection and minimizes exposure to the killing winds. The Native Americans understood something that modern urban dwellers have forgotten, that survival isn't about conquering nature, but about working with it, finding ways to turn its very harshness into protection. They let snow drift against their lodge walls, understanding that this seeming enemy could become a friend, adding layers of insulation that no amount of human engineering could improve upon. As I continue my journey toward that promising smoke, the wind picks up, and I feel the full fury of the plains winter. The cold is so intense it seems to have weight, pressing against my body like an enormous invisible hand trying to push me back, to convince me to abandon this foolish quest for warmth. But I persist, driven by curiosity and the knowledge that somewhere ahead, human ingenuity has created a pocket of survival in this deadly landscape. The snow beneath my feet tells its own story, layers upon layers of frozen precipitation that have accumulated over weeks or months, creating a landscape that shifts and changes with each storm. In some places, the wind has carved the snow into fantastic sculptures, creating drifts taller than a person and exposing patches of frozen earth that crackle underfoot like broken pottery. My ears ache from the cold, and I can feel ice crystals forming in my nostrils with each breath. This is exposure in its purest form, the kind of cold that doesn't just chill you, but actively tries to claim your life, 1 degree at a time. It's humbling to realize that I'm experiencing only a fraction of what the Plains tribes endured, not just for days or weeks, but for entire seasons, year after year, generation after generation. The historical records speak of winters so harsh that rivers froze solid for months, when the buffalo themselves would cluster together for warmth, their massive bodies steaming in the frigid air. These were the conditions in which Native American families raised children, conducted ceremonies, told stories, and maintained the complex social structures that held their communities together. As the smoke grows closer, I begin to smell it. Not just the clean scent of burning wood, but something more complex. There's the rich aroma of pine and cedar, mixed with something else I can't quite identify. It's the smell of survival, of human presence in a world that seems designed to eliminate all traces of life. The landscape around me begins to show subtle changes as I approach the source of the smoke. The snow patterns are different here, shaped by the presence of structures that break the wind and redirect its flow. Even from a distance, I can see evidence of human planning and intervention in the natural patterns of this frozen world. I think about the children who grew up in this environment, playing in snow that could swallow them whole, learning from birth how to read the signs of changing weather, how to find warmth in the smallest spaces, how to turn every scrap of available material into something useful for survival. These weren't just survival skills. They were an entire way of life, a philosophy of existence that recognized the fundamental truth that comfort is not a given, but something that must be earned through intelligence, preparation, and constant vigilance. The approaching smoke tells me that I'm about to witness something remarkable, a demonstration of how human beings can not only survive but thrive in conditions that would challenge the most advanced modern technology. The Native American winter lodges I'm approaching represent thousands of years of accumulated wisdom, passed down from parent to child, refined and perfected with each passing season. As I draw nearer to my destination, the wind seems to intensify, as if nature itself is making one final attempt to turn me back. But the promise of warmth ahead, and my curiosity about the ingenious methods that made survival possible in this harsh environment, drives me forward through the swirling snow and cutting wind. The column of smoke now looms directly ahead, and I can begin to make out the shapes that surround its source. My heart races with anticipation as I prepare to discover the secrets of survival that allowed entire civilizations to flourish in one of the most challenging environments on Earth. Suddenly, the landscape opens up before me, revealing a sight that takes my breath away more effectively than any winter wind ever could. Arranged in a perfect circle, like guardians standing watch against the endless white expanse, stands a village of tipis. Each structure rises from the snow like a monument to human ingenuity, its conical shape cutting through the wind with elegant efficiency. The sight is both beautiful and profoundly moving. These aren't just shelters, they're statements of defiance against a hostile environment, declarations that human intelligence and determination can create islands of warmth and safety even in the heart of winter's domain. The smoke I've been following rises from multiple sources within the circle, creating a constellation of life in the frozen wilderness. As I approach the outer edge of this winter village, I'm struck by the deliberate planning evident in every detail. The circle isn't random. It's positioned to take advantage of natural windbreaks and terrain features that provide additional protection. The entrance to each lodge faces away from the prevailing winds, minimizing heat loss while maximizing the efficiency of the interior fires that keep death at bay. The spacing between lodges is also carefully calculated, close enough for mutual protection and shared warmth, but far enough apart to prevent fires from spreading should disaster strike. This is urban planning at its most fundamental level, the arrangement of living spaces to maximize survival while minimizing risk. Snow has drifted against the outer walls of the lodges, but rather than being seen as a problem, it's been incorporated into the defense strategy. These natural snowbanks provide additional insulation, creating barriers that help maintain the delicate thermal balance within each structure. What might seem like neglect to modern eyes is actually sophisticated environmental engineering. Dogs move between the lodges, their thick coats and confident gait showing how perfectly they've adapted to this harsh environment. These aren't pets in the modern sense, they're working partners, essential members of the survival team. They serve as early warning systems, pack animals, and sources of warmth during the longest, coldest nights. The sound of human voices reaches me now, muffled by the wind but unmistakably alive with conversation, laughter, and the everyday activities of a functioning community. Children's voices rise above the rest, high and clear, speaking to the resilience of life even in the most challenging circumstances. As I step into the circle of lodges, I feel the immediate difference in the microclimate. The wind, which has been my constant enemy during the journey here, is broken up and redirected by the structures, creating pockets of relatively calm air. The temperature isn't dramatically different, but the absence of wind chill makes the environment suddenly more bearable. The snow beneath my feet changes character as well. Here, it's been packed down by foot traffic, creating pathways between lodges that are easier to navigate. These aren't formal roads, but they serve the same purpose, creating infrastructure that makes daily life possible even in the depths of winter. I notice how each lodge has its own personality, revealed through small details visible even from the outside. Some show evidence of recent repairs, with newer patches of hide contrasting with older, weather-darkened sections. Others display decorative elements, painted designs or arrangements of objects that speak to the artistic impulses that survive even under survival conditions. The scent of wood smoke grows stronger as I move through the village, mixed with other odours that speak to the full range of human activity taking place within these hide walls. There's the smell of cooking food, the earthy aroma of tanned leather, and underlying it all, the complex scent of human habitation, not unpleasant, but rich and alive. Standing here in the heart of this winter village, I'm overwhelmed by the realization of what I'm witnessing. This isn't just survival, it's civilization, complete with all the complexity that term implies. These people haven't merely endured the winter, they've created a functioning society within it, maintaining all the social structures and cultural practices that define human community. The historical significance of this moment strikes me with full force. I'm looking at a way of life that sustained millions of people across thousands of years, a system of living that was so successful it allowed complex cultures to flourish in environments that would challenge the most advanced modern technology. These lodges represent the culmination of countless generations of experimentation, refinement, and accumulated wisdom. But perhaps most remarkably, this entire system was portable. When the seasons changed or resources became depleted, this entire village could be packed up and moved to a new location within days. The lodges, the social structures, the survival systems, everything could be transported across vast distances, maintaining cultural continuity while adapting to changing circumstances. As I stand at the threshold of this remarkable achievement, I feel a profound sense of respect for the intelligence and determination that made it possible. These people didn't just survive winter, they mastered it, turning one of nature's greatest challenges into an opportunity to demonstrate the full potential of human ingenuity and cooperation. The wind continues to howl around the village, but here within the circle of lodges I feel protected, welcomed into a space where survival and comfort exist in carefully balanced harmony. The smoke continues to rise from the fires within, carrying with it the promise of warmth and the stories of those who understood that true strength comes not from fighting nature, but from finding ways to live in partnership with it. With a mixture of anticipation and reverence, I approach the entrance of one of the lodges, ready to discover the intimate details of how human beings transformed this frozen wilderness into a home. I pause at the entrance flap of the nearest lodge, my hand hovering over the thick buffalo hide that serves as a door between the harsh world I've just traversed and the promised warmth within. The hide is stiff with cold and age, darkened by smoke and weather, into a deep brown that speaks of countless seasons spent standing guard against the elements. Taking a deep breath of the frigid air, perhaps my last taste of winter's bite for a while, I lift the flap and step across the threshold. The transformation is immediate and startling. The screaming wind that has been my constant companion suddenly becomes a distant whisper, muffled by layers of hide and the careful engineering of the lodge's construction. The first sensation that strikes me is the darkness, not the empty black of night, but a rich, warm darkness that feels alive with possibility. As my eyes adjust, shapes begin to emerge from the gloom, illuminated by the gentle glow of a fire that crackles at the center of the space. The flames dance hypnotically, casting shifting shadows on the curved walls and creating an atmosphere that feels both primitive and profoundly sophisticated. The air itself tells a story. It's warm, not just warmer than outside, but genuinely comfortably warm. The temperature difference is so dramatic it seems impossible, yet here I am, already feeling the ice crystals in my nostrils beginning to melt. The air carries the complex aroma of wood smoke, tanned leather, and something else, the indefinable scent of human habitation, of a space that has been lived in, loved in, and called home. My feet discover something unexpected beneath them. Not the frozen earth I expected, but something softer, more yielding. As I look down, I realize I'm standing on carefully arranged furs and woven mats, that create a barrier between the inhabitants and the frozen ground. This isn't just comfort, it's essential survival technology. The cold earth would drain body heat relentlessly, but these insulating layers break that thermal connection, preserving precious warmth. The lodge's interior reveals itself gradually as my eyes adapt to the firelight. The space is larger than I expected, perhaps 15 feet in diameter at its widest point, and the conical shape draws the eye upward to where smoke curls lazily toward a carefully designed vent at the top. This isn't random architecture. Every angle and measurement has been calculated to maximize efficiency while minimizing heat loss. The walls around me are marvels of engineering disguised as simple hide coverings. These aren't single pieces of leather, but complex assemblages of buffalo hide sewn together with sinew thread that creates seams so tight they might as well be welded. Each hide has been carefully selected, prepared, and positioned to create a barrier that keeps the killing cold at bay, while allowing the lodge to breathe just enough to prevent suffocation. But what truly amazes me is the attention to detail evident in every aspect of this space. The fire pit at the center isn't just a random hole in the ground. It's been carefully excavated and lined with stones that absorb and radiate heat long after the flames die down. The positioning is precise, placed at exactly the right spot to maximize heat distribution, while ensuring proper ventilation through the smoke hole above. Around the fire, I can see evidence of the daily life that takes place in this remarkable space. There are tools arranged with casual precision, bone needles for sewing, stone scrapers for hide preparation, wooden bowls carved with obvious skill and pride. These aren't just survival implements. They're the artifacts of a culture that valued craftsmanship and beauty, even under the most challenging circumstances. The sleeping areas around the perimeter of the lodge reveal another layer of sophisticated planning. Rather than lying directly on the ground, the bedding is arranged on slightly raised platforms, constructed from flexible wood and woven materials. This elevation serves a crucial function. It prevents the sleepers from coming into direct contact with the frozen earth, which would drain their body heat throughout the night. These sleeping platforms are covered with an impressive array of furs and hides, layered with the skill of someone who understands exactly how to trap and maintain body heat. Buffalo robes, elk hides, deer skins, and smaller furs from foxes and rabbits create a complex thermal system that rivals anything modern technology has produced. Each layer serves a purpose, and the arrangement speaks to generations of experimentation and refinement. The smoke from the central fire rises in a lazy spiral, drawn upward by the natural chimney effect of the lodge's shape. The smoke hole at the top is fitted with adjustable flaps that can be manipulated to control draft and ventilation, a sophisticated system that allows the inhabitants to fine-tune their environment based on weather conditions and the strength of the fire below. Settling myself on the soft furs near the fire, I'm struck by how quickly the cold begins to leave my body. The warmth penetrates through my modern clothing more effectively than any heated building I've ever experienced. This isn't the dry, artificial heat of modern heating systems, but something more fundamental, radiant warmth that seems to reach into my bones and remind them what it feels like to be truly comfortable. The acoustic properties of the lodge are equally impressive. The thick hide walls absorb sound, creating an intimate acoustic environment where quiet conversation carries clearly, but outside noise is muffled to a gentle whisper. The crackling of the fire becomes a soothing soundtrack, punctuated by the soft sounds of human activity. the rustle of furs being adjusted, the quiet scrape of a tool being cleaned, the contented sigh of someone settling into comfort. As I sit in this remarkable space, I begin to understand that what I'm experiencing isn't just shelter, it's home. Despite being constructed entirely from organic materials that could be packed up and moved at any time, this lodge provides all the psychological and physical comfort that the word home implies. It's a sanctuary, a place where the outside world's harshness can be forgotten, where families could gather to share meals, tell stories, and maintain the social bonds that held their communities together. The fire continues to dance before me, and I find myself mesmerized by its hypnotic movement. This flame isn't just providing heat, it's the heart of this entire system, the source of life that makes everything else possible. Without it, all the careful engineering, all the sophisticated hide work, all the intelligent design would be meaningless. The fire is the key that unlocks the potential of this remarkable survival technology. But maintaining that fire through the long winter nights requires constant vigilance. Someone must always be ready to add fuel, to adjust the logs, to ensure that this crucial flame never dies. It's a responsibility that rotates among the lodge's inhabitants, a shared duty that binds the community together in the most fundamental way possible, mutual dependence for survival. As I settle deeper into the furs, feeling warmth and safety I never expected to find in such a harsh environment, I begin to appreciate the full magnitude of what I'm experiencing. This lodge represents thousands of years of accumulated human wisdom, distilled into a form so elegant and effective that it allowed entire civilizations to thrive in conditions that would challenge modern technology. The wind outside continues its assault on the plains, but here in this carefully engineered sanctuary, it might as well be happening on another planet. I'm warm, comfortable, and safe, a testament to the incredible ingenuity of people who refuse to be defeated by one of nature's greatest challenges. Lying back on the luxurious furs, I close my eyes and listen to the sounds of life continuing around me. The soft breathing of sleeping children, the quiet murmur of adult conversation, the reassuring crackle of the eternal fire. This is survival elevated to the level of art, necessity transformed into comfort through intelligence, determination, and an intimate understanding of the natural world. In this moment, surrounded by the evidence of human ingenuity at its finest, I feel a profound connection to the generations of people who perfected these techniques, who passed down this knowledge, who proved that no environment is too harsh for human beings who are willing to observe, learn, and adapt. The lodge around me isn't just a shelter, it's a monument to the unlimited potential of human creativity when channeled toward the goal of not just surviving, but thriving. As I drift towards sleep in this remarkable sanctuary, my last conscious thought is one of gratitude. Gratitude for the privilege of experiencing, even briefly, this perfect marriage of human intelligence and natural materials, this demonstration that comfort and security are not modern inventions, but ancient arts that our ancestors mastered thousands of years ago on the frozen plains of North America. The fire burns steadily through the night, tended by invisible hands, keeping watch over dreams and ensuring that when morning comes, life will continue in this circle of lodges, this testament to human resilience and ingenuity that transforms winter from an enemy into merely another season to be lived through and enjoyed. The warmth continues to seep into my bones as I settle more deeply into the luxurious pile of furs that serves as both bed and cocoon, against the world outside. These aren't just random animal skins thrown together for convenience. They represent a sophisticated understanding of thermal dynamics that rivals anything modern science has developed. Each fur has been selected and positioned with specific intent, creating layers that trap air and body heat while wicking away moisture that could create deadly chill. The buffalo robes form the foundation of this thermal system, their thick, dense fur providing the primary insulation barrier. Over and between these are layered elk hides, deer skins, and the pelts of smaller animals, rabbit, fox, and beaver, each contributing its own unique properties to the overall warmth equation. The result is a sleeping system that not only keeps the cold at bay, but actually generates and maintains a microclimate of comfort that makes rest and recovery possible even in the harshest conditions. But it's not just the quantity of furs that impresses me, it's the quality of their preparation. These hides have been treated with such skill that they remain supple and soft despite their age and the harsh conditions they've endured. The tanning process that created them represents generations of accumulated knowledge about chemistry, materials science, and craftsmanship, passed down from master to student in an unbroken chain of expertise. Running my hands across the surface of a particularly beautiful buffalo robe, I can feel the individual guard hairs that provide weather resistance, underlaid by the dense undercoat that traps warm air close to the skin. The hide itself has been worked to a buttery softness that speaks to hours of careful processing, scraping, stretching, rubbing with specially prepared mixtures of brain and bone marrow that transform raw hide into something approaching luxury. The stitching that joins these various pieces together is itself a marvel of engineering. Using sinew thread that's stronger and more durable than most modern synthetic materials, the seamstresses who created these sleeping systems employed techniques that create joints actually stronger than the materials they connect. The seams are invisible from the sleeping side but reveal themselves as complex interlocking patterns when examined from beneath. Functional art that serves the dual purpose of beauty and survival. As I arrange myself within this nest of furs, I become aware of another crucial element of the lodge's heating system. The heated stones that have been placed strategically throughout the bedding area. These aren't visible, buried as they are beneath layers of hide and fur, but their presence is unmistakable as waves of gentle warmth radiate upward from hidden positions near my feet, at my back, and alongside my torso. The stones themselves represent another example of sophisticated material selection and engineering. These aren't random rocks picked up from the ground outside, but carefully chosen river stones that have been tested through repeated heating cycles to ensure they won't crack or explode when exposed to extreme temperatures. Their smooth, rounded surfaces distribute heat evenly and safely, while their thermal mass allows them to continue radiating warmth for hours after being removed from the fire. The process of heating and deploying these stones requires its own set of specialized tools and techniques. Wooden tongs carved specifically for this purpose allow them to be lifted safely from the fire and transported to their positions within the bedding. Wrapped in specially prepared bark or hide covers, they're then nestled into predetermined positions where they can do the most good without creating dangerous hotspots that might burn sleeping inhabitants. This system of radiant heating transforms the lodge from merely warm to genuinely comfortable, creating zones of luxurious heat that make it possible to sleep soundly even when the temperature outside drops to levels that would be instantly fatal to an unprotected human. The stones work in concert with the fire, the furs, and the lodge's architectural features to create a thermal environment that approaches the ideal. But perhaps most remarkably, this entire system is completely renewable and sustainable. The stones can be reheated night after night, the furs will last for years with proper care, and the fire burns wood that can be gathered from the environment. There are no complex supply chains, no manufactured components that might fail, no dependence on systems beyond the inhabitants' direct control. The social aspects of this heating system are equally sophisticated. The responsibility for heating stones, arranging bedding, and maintaining optimal sleeping conditions is shared among all capable members of the lodge, creating bonds of mutual dependence and cooperation that strengthen the community as a whole. Children learn these crucial skills by observation and participation, ensuring that the knowledge is passed down intact to each new generation. As the night deepens and the fire burns lower, I can hear the subtle sounds of the heating system at work. The soft hiss of a stone being unwrapped from its protective covering. The whispered instruction from an elder to a young person learning the proper techniques. The satisfied sigh of someone settling into bedding that has been perfectly prepared for maximum comfort and warmth. The temperature gradient within the lodge creates its own subtle environment, with the area closest to the fire maintaining a zone of active warmth, while the sleeping areas achieve a more moderate temperature that's perfect for rest. The heated stones bridge this gap, bringing fire-heated comfort to areas that might otherwise be merely warm rather than luxuriously cozy. Wrapped in this cocoon of intelligent engineering and material science, I find it hard to believe that I'm in the middle of one of the harshest environments on Earth. The cold that tried to claim my life during the journey to this village now seems like a distant memory, banished by human ingenuity and the accumulated wisdom of countless generations who refused to let winter define the limits of their existence. The firs around me carry their own stories, tales of successful hunts, of animals honoured and utilised completely, of no part wasted in the endless struggle for survival and comfort. Each hide represents not just material wealth, but cultural wealth, knowledge passed down about which animals to hunt when, how to track them across vast distances, how to process their remains into materials that would serve human needs for years to come. As sleep begins to claim me in this perfectly engineered sanctuary, I'm struck by a profound realization about the true meaning of luxury. It's not about having more than you need, it's about having exactly what you need, prepared and arranged with such skill and attention that mere survival transforms into genuine comfort. In this lodge, on these firs, warmed by these stones and protected by these hides, I'm experiencing luxury in its purest form, the luxury of being completely safe and comfortable in an environment designed to kill. The heating stones continue their silent work throughout the night, radiating stored solar energy, for that's what fire really is, into the carefully arranged firs that surround me. The system works so well that I can forget entirely about the battle raging just inches away, where killing cold presses against ingenious hides, seeking entry to this sanctuary but finding none. In my dreams, I imagine I can hear the conversations of the people who perfected these techniques, the discussions around winter fires where innovations were proposed, tested, and refined. I see grandmothers teaching granddaughters the precise angle at which to sew a seam for maximum weather resistance. I witness fathers showing sons how to select stones that will heat evenly and safely. I observe entire communities working together to create these marvels of survival technology that make civilization possible even in the heart of winter's domain. This is more than shelter. It's proof that human beings, working together and building on the knowledge of their ancestors, can create islands of comfort and safety anywhere on Earth. The lodge around me stands as a testament to the unlimited potential that emerges when intelligence, cooperation, and determination combine to solve the fundamental challenges of existence. And as the night passes in warmth and comfort, tended by fires that never sleep, and warmed by stones that hold the sun's energy within their ancient hearts, I rest secure in the knowledge that I'm experiencing one of humanity's greatest achievements, the transformation of winter from enemy to friend, the creation of home in the heart of the wilderness, the proof that no environment is too harsh for human beings who refuse to surrender to its challenges. The steady breathing of my companions and the gentle crackle of the eternal fire provide a lullaby that speaks to the deepest human need for safety, warmth, and community. In this lodge, surrounded by the evidence of human ingenuity at its finest, I find peace in the knowledge that our ancestors solved problems we can barely imagine, creating solutions so elegant and effective that they sustained entire civilizations for thousands of years. As dawn approaches somewhere beyond the hide walls, I sleep the deep sleep of the truly safe, protected by intelligence, warmed by fire, and cradled in the accumulated wisdom of generations who understood that survival is not just about staying alive, it's about creating conditions where life can flourish even in the face of nature's greatest challenges. The night passes in cycles of tending and rest, each member of the lodge taking their turn at maintaining the fires and adjusting the heated stones that keep death at bay. It's a rhythm as old as humanity itself, the sharing of responsibility for the flame that makes all other life possible, the quiet cooperation that transforms individual vulnerability into collective strength. When morning finally arrives, creeping through the smoke hole and around the edges of the entrance flap, it finds a community that has not merely survived another winter night, but has done so in comfort and safety, proof that human ingenuity can triumph over any challenge nature presents. The lodge stands ready for another day, its fires burning bright, its systems functioning perfectly, its inhabitants rested and ready to face whatever the frozen world beyond might offer. But the true victory lies not just in surviving the night, but in the knowledge that this same scene has played out countless times across countless winters, that this system of survival and comfort represents an unbroken chain of human achievement stretching back to the dawn of civilization on the Great Plains. In this lodge, in this moment, the past and present unite in a demonstration of humanity's greatest triumph, the conquest of winter itself. The night's rest has been profound and restorative, but now as the first hints of dawn begin to filter through the carefully engineered smoke hole above, a new day announces itself with subtle changes in the lodge's atmosphere. The fire that has burned steadily through the darkness begins to show the pale competition of daylight, its orange glow less dominant against the growing brightness that seeps in from the world outside. Around me, the lodge begins to stir with the quiet movements of people waking to face another day in this harsh but conquered environment. The sounds are soft and measured, the whisper of furs being arranged, the gentle scrape of someone adding fuel to the fire, the barely audible stretch and sigh of bodies emerging from the deep rest that only true safety can provide. The heated stones that kept us warm through the night have cooled to a gentle warmth, their stored energy nearly spent but their mission accomplished. Soon they'll be removed from the bedding and returned to positions near the fire, ready to absorb heat once again for the next night's cycle. It's a rhythm as regular and reliable as breathing, as essential as the heartbeat that sustains life itself. As consciousness fully returns, I become aware of the remarkable achievement I've witnessed and experienced. Through the long winter night, this lodge has maintained a perfect environment for human habitation, while just outside its walls, conditions existed that could kill an unprotected person within minutes. The temperature differential is so extreme as to seem impossible, yet here it is, accomplished through nothing more than human intelligence applied to natural materials. The buffalo hides that form the walls show no signs of the stress they've endured. The wind that screamed across the plains all night has been turned aside by their curved surfaces, deflected harmlessly away from this sanctuary. The thick layers of fur and hide have maintained their integrity, keeping the precious warmth generated by fire and human bodies from escaping into the hungry cold outside. Rising carefully from my nest of furs, I take a moment to appreciate the full scope of the engineering that surrounds me. Every element of this lodge has been designed and positioned with mathematical precision, disguised as traditional craft. The angle of the walls, the placement of the smoke hole, the arrangement of the interior space, all of it calculated through generations of experimentation to create maximum efficiency and comfort. The fire pit reveals its own sophisticated design in the growing daylight. The stones that line it have been selected and arranged to create optimal heat reflection and distribution. The depth and diameter have been calculated to provide the perfect balance between fuel efficiency and heat output. Even the positioning of fuel supplies around the perimeter shows evidence of careful planning, close enough for convenience, far enough to prevent accidental ignition. But perhaps most impressive is the realization that this entire system is completely portable. Every element of this remarkable shelter can be packed up and transported to a new location within a matter of hours. The lodge poles break down into manageable lengths, the hides fold into compact bundles, and the heating stones can be left behind and replaced at the next campsite. An entire village can appear and disappear like a mirage, leaving barely a trace of its existence. The social systems that make this mobility possible are equally sophisticated. Every member of the community has specific responsibilities in the setup and breakdown process, roles that have been refined through countless repetitions until the work flows with the efficiency of a well-rehearsed dance. Children learn by watching and participating, ensuring that the knowledge passes intact to each new generation. As the morning progresses and full daylight asserts itself, the contrast between inside and outside becomes even more dramatic. Through the entrance flap I can see the endless white expanse of the winter plains, beautiful in its way but utterly hostile to unprotected human life. The wind continues its relentless assault, stirring up ground snow and creating conditions that would challenge even modern winter gear. Yet here in the lodge, comfort continues unabated. The fire burns steadily, the air remains warm and breathable, and the sense of safety and security never wavers. This isn't just survival, it's the creation of a perfect microenvironment that allows human civilization to flourish, even in the most challenging conditions imaginable. The breakfast preparations begin with the same quiet efficiency that characterizes everything in this remarkable community. Food that has been preserved through sophisticated techniques emerges from storage areas around the lodge's perimeter. Dried meat, processed plant materials, and other supplies represent another aspect of the comprehensive survival system that makes winter life not just possible, but genuinely comfortable. The cooking techniques themselves reveal additional layers of engineering sophistication. The fire that provides heat also serves multiple cooking functions, with different areas around the flame pit offering different temperature zones for various food preparation needs. Stones heated in the fire can be used for cooking methods that require consistent, controlled heat. Water can be boiled in containers made from materials that seem impossible. Hide bags that can hold liquid and withstand fire without burning. As I observe these morning routines, I'm struck by the seamless integration of all the various survival systems. Nothing exists in isolation. Every technique, every tool, every social practice supports and reinforces the others. The result is a way of life that's not just sustainable but genuinely comfortable, creating conditions where people can focus on art, storytelling, spiritual practices, and all the other activities that make life worth living. The children in the lodge provide perhaps the most convincing evidence of the system's success. They move about with confidence and comfort, their behavior showing none of the stress or fear that would characterize people merely struggling to survive. They laugh, play, and learn with the security that comes from knowing their community has mastered the challenges of their environment so completely that even the youngest members can take safety and comfort for granted. The educational systems at work around me are informal but incredibly effective. Children absorb crucial knowledge through observation and participation, learning not through formal instruction, but through the natural process of growing up surrounded by expertise. They see how fires are maintained, how hides are prepared, how social responsibilities are shared, and they internalize these lessons so completely that they'll be able to recreate this entire system of survival when their time comes to establish their own lodges. As the morning light grows stronger, filtering through the smoke hole and around the entrance flap with increasing brightness, the lodge gradually transitions from night mode to day mode. The heated stones are removed and set aside. The bedding is rearranged to accommodate daytime activities, and the interior space transforms itself to meet the needs of a new day. But through all these changes, the fundamental systems remain constant. The fire continues to burn, the hides continue to provide protection, and the sense of security and comfort never wavers. This lodge has become a world unto itself, a demonstration that human beings can create perfect living conditions anywhere on Earth if they're willing to observe, learn, and apply their intelligence to the challenges they face. Standing at the entrance flap and looking out at the harsh beauty of the winter plains, I'm filled with profound admiration for the people who developed and perfected these techniques. They didn't just solve the problem of winter survival, they solved it so completely and elegantly that they transformed one of nature's greatest challenges into an opportunity to demonstrate the unlimited potential of human creativity and cooperation. The smoke continues to rise from the lodge's smoke hole, joining with the smoke from other lodges in the village to create a visible testament to human presence and triumph in this frozen landscape. Each column of smoke represents a victory over impossible odds, a demonstration that no environment is too harsh for human beings who refuse to accept defeat. As I prepare to leave this remarkable sanctuary and return to my own world, I carry with me a new understanding of what human beings are capable of when necessity drives innovation and cooperation replaces competition. The lodge behind me stands as proof that comfort, security, and even luxury are not modern inventions but ancient achievements, accomplished by people who understood that survival is not about defeating nature, but about finding ways to live in harmony with its harshest expressions. The wind continues to blow across the endless plains, but its voice no longer sounds like a threat. It's simply weather, a natural phenomenon that human ingenuity has learned to accommodate and even exploit. The cold remains as bitter as ever, but it's no longer an enemy. It's simply another element in an environment that human beings have learned to call home. In the distance, other villages dot the horizon, each one a testament to the same principles and techniques that made my night of comfort possible. Together, they represent a civilization that conquered winter, not through brute force or technological complexity, but through careful observation, intelligent application of natural materials, and the kind of cooperation that turns individual vulnerability into collective strength. The story of this lodge, of this village, of this entire way of life is ultimately a story about human potential. It demonstrates that our ancestors were not primitive people, struggling desperately for survival, but sophisticated engineers, architects, and social planners who solved complex problems with elegant solutions that sustained entire civilizations for thousands of years. As the new day fully establishes itself across the frozen plains, the smoke from countless lodges continues to rise into the clear winter sky, carrying with it the breath of human triumph over impossible odds. Each wisp of smoke tells the same story, that human beings, working together and building on the accumulated wisdom of their ancestors, can create islands of warmth, safety, and comfort anywhere on Earth, no matter how hostile the environment might seem. The lodge stands ready for another day, another night, another cycle in the endless rhythm of survival and prosperity that defines life on the winter plains. The fires will continue to burn, the stones will continue to heat, and the hides will continue to hold back the killing cold, proving once again that human ingenuity knows no limits when applied to the fundamental challenges of existence. And so, as I take my final look at this marvel of human achievement, this perfect fusion of intelligence and materials that transforms winter from enemy to friend, I'm reminded that the greatest technologies are often the simplest ones, the ones that work with nature rather than against it, the ones that can be understood and maintained by anyone willing to learn, the ones that create not just survival, but genuine comfort and security. The wind whispers across the plains, carrying with it the promise of another night, another opportunity for this remarkable system to demonstrate its effectiveness. The lodge waits patiently, ready to once again provide the perfect environment for rest and safety, ready to prove that no winter is too harsh for human beings who understand the ancient arts of fire, hide, and stone. In this place, in this moment, surrounded by the evidence of human achievement at its finest, the eternal dance between human intelligence and natural challenge continues, each night bringing new proof that when wisdom, cooperation, and determination combine, there is no environment on Earth that cannot be conquered and called home. The great cycle continues, as it has for thousands of years and as it will for thousands more, carried forward by the eternal flame that burns at the heart of every lodge, tended by human hands that understand that fire is not just heat and light, but the very essence of civilization itself, the gift that transforms winter from a season of death into a season of life, warmth, and dreams that carry us safely through the darkest nights toward the promise of spring. Now, as our journey through this winter wonderland draws to a close, I invite you to carry with you the warmth of this knowledge, the understanding that human beings have always found ways to create comfort and security even in the face of nature's greatest challenges. Let the memory of this lodge, with its perfect systems and ancient wisdom, warm you through your own winter nights. The fires burn on, the stones hold their heat, and the great dance of survival and triumph continues across the endless plains, where winter meets human ingenuity and discovers once again that there is no force in nature stronger than the determination of people who refuse to surrender to the impossible. Sweet dreams, fellow travellers, and may you always find warmth in the knowledge that no winter lasts forever, and no night is too dark for those who know how to tend the sacred fires that keep hope alive in the hearts of all who dare to dream of spring. The morning continues to unfold around me as I remain within this remarkable sanctuary, watching the subtle dance of light and shadow that plays across the lodge's interior as the sun climbs higher in the winter sky. The entrance flap occasionally stirs in the wind, allowing brief glimpses of the brilliant white world beyond, a world that seems increasingly alien and hostile when viewed from this cocoon of warmth and safety. The contrast is so stark it defies comprehension. Here, within walls of buffalo hide and surrounded by carefully engineered comfort systems, I exist in what can only be described as luxury. Yet mere inches away, separated only by these organic barriers, lies an environment so hostile that unprotected exposure would mean death within minutes. It's a testament to human ingenuity that such dramatic environmental control is possible using nothing but materials that the earth itself provides. As the day progresses, I begin to notice the subtle rhythms that govern life within this lodge. There's a natural ebb and flow to the activities, a pattern that speaks to thousands of years of refined social organization. The fire receives attention at regular intervals, not according to any visible clock, but according to an internal sense of timing that has been honed through countless generations of winter survival. The women of the lodge move with a grace and efficiency that speaks to lives spent in perfect harmony with their environment. They adjust the fire with tools that seem to be extensions of their own hands, add fuel with movements that waste no energy, and monitor the complex systems that maintain comfort with the casual expertise of master engineers. Their knowledge isn't written in books or stored in computers. It lives in their muscles, their instincts, and their bones. The men contribute their own essential skills to the winter survival equation. They manage the larger aspects of fuel supply, maintain the structural elements of the lodge, and provide the physical strength necessary for some of the heavier maintenance tasks. But their roles aren't rigidly defined. I observe fluid cooperation where anyone capable contributes to whatever needs doing, creating a social system as flexible and efficient as the technical systems that keep them alive. Children move through this environment with a confidence that speaks to their complete trust in the adult's ability to maintain their safety. They play games that are simultaneously entertainment and education, learning crucial survival skills through activities that feel like pure fun. I watch a young girl carefully arranging small stones in patterns that mirror the heating systems of the adult lodge, unconsciously absorbing knowledge that may save her life someday. The educational process at work here is remarkable in its subtlety and effectiveness. There are no formal classes, no textbooks, no examinations, yet every child is receiving an education in survival technology that surpasses anything available in the modern world. They learn by watching, by participating, by being included in every aspect of the community's daily survival activities. The air quality within the lodge deserves special attention, as it represents another triumph of ancient engineering over seemingly impossible conditions. Despite the presence of a constant fire burning in an enclosed space, despite the complete sealing necessary to retain heat, the atmosphere remains breathable and comfortable throughout the day and night. This is achieved through a sophisticated ventilation system that manages airflow with mathematical precision. The smoke hole at the apex of the lodge isn't simply an opening. It's a carefully calculated vent that creates exactly the right amount of draw to remove combustion products while minimizing heat loss. The size, shape, and positioning of this opening have been refined through countless generations of experimentation, resulting in a system that performs as well as any modern HVAC installation. But the smoke hole is only one part of the ventilation equation. The lodge's shape itself contributes to air movement, creating natural convection currents that circulate fresh air throughout the interior space. The slight gaps between hides, which might seem like flaws in the construction, are actually carefully controlled ventilation points that allow fresh air to enter while preventing significant heat loss. The result is an atmosphere that remains fresh and comfortable even during extended periods of occupation. Carbon dioxide levels stay within safe ranges, oxygen depletion is prevented, and the humidity is controlled to prevent the condensation that could make the interior cold and uncomfortable. It's atmospheric engineering of the highest order, accomplished entirely through careful observation and intelligent application of physical principles. The heating stone system reveals additional layers of sophistication as I observe its operation throughout the day. The stones aren't randomly selected river rocks, but carefully chosen materials that have been tested through repeated heating cycles to ensure they won't crack or explode when exposed to extreme temperatures. The knowledge of which stones work best, where to find them, and how to test them represents generations of accumulated materials science. The heating and placement process itself follows protocols as precise as any laboratory procedure. The stones are heated to specific temperatures, monitored through techniques that rely on visual cues and experience rather than instruments, then transported and positioned according to carefully developed procedures that maximize heat transfer while minimizing risk of burns or fires. Different sizes and types of stones serve different purposes within the system. Larger stones provide long-lasting radiant heat, smaller ones heat up quickly for immediate warmth, and certain types of stone are preferred for specific applications based on their thermal properties and structural integrity. It's a materials science curriculum taught through practical application rather than theoretical study. The wrapping and positioning of heated stones involves its own specialized knowledge. Different materials are used for different applications. Some wrappings provide insulation for safety, others facilitate heat transfer, and still others serve both functions simultaneously. The positioning of wrapped stones within the bedding areas follows patterns that have been optimized for human comfort, ensuring even heat distribution without creating dangerous hotspots. The social protocols surrounding the heating stone system are equally sophisticated. Responsibility for their management rotates among community members according to complex social arrangements that ensure the work is shared equitably while maintaining the expertise necessary for safe operation. Children learn the simpler aspects of the system first, gradually taking on more responsibility as their skills and judgment develop. The fuel management systems that keep this entire operation running smoothly represent another marvel of resource planning and conservation. Every piece of wood that enters the lodge has been selected according to criteria that consider burning characteristics, heat output, smoke production, and availability. The knowledge of which trees produce the best fuel, when to harvest them, and how to prepare them for burning is passed down through generations like precious treasure. The fuel supply chain extends far beyond simple wood gathering. Dried dung from buffalo and other animals provides alternative fuel sources when wood is scarce. Certain plants and shrubs contribute specific burning characteristics, some for quick-starting fires, others for long-lasting coals, still others for cooking applications where heat control is crucial. The storage and preparation of fuel materials involves its own sophisticated techniques. Wood is seasoned according to methods that maximize burning efficiency while minimizing storage space. Different types of fuel are organized and stored according to their intended uses, creating an inventory management system that ensures the right materials are available when needed. Fire starting and maintenance represents perhaps the most critical skill set in this entire survival system. The ability to create and maintain fire under any conditions is literally the difference between life and death, and the techniques developed by these winter peoples represent the pinnacle of pre-industrial fire technology. The fire-starting materials are prepared with the same attention to detail that characterizes every other aspect of lodge life. Tinder is collected, processed, and stored according to methods that ensure it will catch fire even in the most adverse conditions. Different materials serve different purposes, some for catching the initial spark, others for building that spark into flame, still others for sustaining the flame long enough to ignite larger fuel materials. The fire-starting tools themselves are marvels of engineering simplicity. Fire drills, flint and steel combinations, and other ignition systems are designed to work reliably under the extreme conditions where fire starting might mean the difference between survival and death. The knowledge of how to construct, maintain, and use these tools is considered among the most valuable information a person can possess. But creating fire is only the beginning. Maintaining it through changing conditions requires constant attention and sophisticated technique. The fire builders of these winter lodges understand combustion science at an intuitive level, adjusting fuel combinations, airflow, and burning configurations to achieve specific results under varying conditions. Different types of fires serve different purposes throughout the day and night. Cooking fires require specific temperature ranges and heat distribution patterns. Heating fires need to produce maximum warmth with minimum smoke. Overnight fires must burn long and steadily with minimal attention. Each application requires its own combination of fuel, construction technique, and maintenance protocol. The fire pit construction itself represents advanced understanding of thermodynamics and materials science. The stones used for lining aren't randomly selected. They're chosen for their ability to absorb, store, and radiate heat efficiently. The size and shape of the pit are calculated to provide optimal combustion conditions while maximizing heat transfer to the lodge's interior. The positioning of the fire pit within the lodge follows principles that balance multiple competing requirements. It must be close enough to sleeping and activity areas to provide adequate heat, but far enough away to prevent accidental fires. It must be positioned to take advantage of natural air circulation patterns while avoiding areas where smoke might accumulate. It must be accessible for fuel feeding and maintenance, while not interfering with daily activities. The relationship between fire, ventilation, and structural elements creates a complex system where every component affects every other component. Changes in wind direction outside require adjustments to smoke hole covers. Different fuel types demand modifications to airflow patterns. Weather conditions necessitate alterations to burning techniques. Managing these interactions requires knowledge that goes far beyond simple fire building. The cooking systems that utilize these fires represent another layer of technological sophistication. Different cooking methods require different fire configurations, different heat levels, different timing patterns. Roasting, boiling, smoking, and other food preparation techniques each demand their own specialized knowledge and equipment. The containers used for cooking demonstrate remarkable materials, science innovation. Hide containers that can hold liquids and withstand fire seem impossible from a modern perspective, yet they work perfectly when constructed and used according to traditional techniques. Stone bowls carved with tools that seem primitive, yet produce results that rival modern manufacturing. Wooden utensils and containers that serve multiple functions while lasting for years under harsh conditions. Food preservation systems that make winter survival possible represent generations of accumulated knowledge about chemistry, biology, and material science. Drying, smoking, fermentation, and other preservation methods ensure that adequate nutrition remains available throughout the harshest seasons when fresh food sources are unavailable. The preparation of preserved foods involves sophisticated understanding of food science principles. Different preservation methods are used for different types of food based on their nutritional content, spoilage characteristics, and intended storage duration. The equipment and techniques used for food preservation are as carefully engineered as any other aspect of the survival system. Storage systems that protect preserved foods from moisture, pests, and other threats utilize containers and techniques that demonstrate advanced understanding of materials science and environmental control. Different storage methods are used for different types of preserved foods, each optimized for the specific requirements of particular food types and preservation methods. The nutritional planning that ensures adequate diet throughout the winter months involves sophisticated understanding of human dietary requirements and food combining principles. Traditional diets developed through generations of experience provide complete nutrition using only locally available materials, proving that optimal health is possible without modern agricultural and manufacturing systems. The clothing systems that allow people to survive and work in extreme cold conditions represent advanced understanding of insulation, layer management, and material science. Different types of clothing serve different purposes, some for extreme weather protection, others for daily work activities, still others for sleeping comfort. The materials used for clothing construction are selected and prepared according to criteria that consider insulation properties, durability, water resistance, and comfort characteristics. Different animal hides and furs provide different benefits, and combining them effectively requires extensive knowledge of their individual properties and how they work together. The construction techniques used for cold weather clothing involve sophisticated understanding of heat transfer, air circulation, and ergonomics. Seam placement, fit adjustments, and design details are all calculated to maximize warmth while maintaining freedom of movement and comfort during extended wear. Layering systems that provide optimal temperature regulation under varying conditions demonstrate advanced understanding of thermodynamics and human physiology. Different combinations of clothing layers serve different purposes, allowing precise temperature control as conditions change throughout the day and night. The maintenance and repair systems that keep clothing functional throughout extended winter seasons involve specialized techniques for cleaning, waterproofing, and structural repair. The knowledge required to maintain clothing systems in working condition represents another crucial survival skill set that must be mastered for winter survival. Footwear systems that provide protection and traction under extreme winter conditions demonstrate remarkable engineering innovation. Different types of footwear serve different purposes, some for deep snow travel, others for ice conditions, still others for indoor use where warmth and comfort are primary concerns. The materials and construction techniques used for winter footwear involve sophisticated understanding of insulation, water resistance, and biomechanics. Traditional moccasins and boots provide performance characteristics that rival or exceed modern manufactured footwear while using only materials available from the natural environment. The social systems that govern winter lodge life represent highly evolved forms of human organization, optimized for survival under extreme conditions. Decision-making processes, work allocation methods, conflict resolution systems, and resource-sharing protocols all demonstrate sophisticated understanding of human psychology and group dynamics. Leadership structures within winter communities balance individual expertise with collective decision-making in ways that ensure both effective management and social cohesion. Different types of decisions require different leadership approaches, and the social systems that govern these communities provide appropriate mechanisms for each type of situation. Resource allocation systems ensure that crucial materials and responsibilities are distributed according to principles that maximize group survival while maintaining individual motivation and satisfaction. These systems represent advanced understanding of economics and psychology applied to survival situations. Conflict resolution methods developed for close-quarters winter living demonstrates sophisticated understanding of human psychology and social dynamics. The techniques used to prevent and resolve disputes in situations where cooperation is literally a matter of life and death provide models that could benefit modern communities. Educational systems that ensure crucial knowledge is transmitted accurately from generation to generation represent advanced understanding of learning psychology and knowledge management. The methods used to teach complex technical skills without formal educational institutions demonstrate remarkable pedagogical innovation. The cultural systems that maintain social cohesion and individual psychological health during extended periods of confinement and stress demonstrate deep understanding of human nature and community psychology. Storytelling, ceremonies, games, and other cultural activities serve crucial functions in maintaining group mental health during challenging conditions. The artistic traditions that flourish even under survival conditions demonstrate that human creativity and aesthetic sense remain important even when basic survival is the primary concern. Decorative elements on tools, clothing, and lodge furnishings show that beauty and functionality can be successfully combined even in the most challenging circumstances. The spiritual and ceremonial systems that provide meaning and psychological support during difficult times demonstrate sophisticated understanding of human psychological needs. Religious and spiritual practices adapted for winter, lodge life provide community bonding and individual comfort that contribute significantly to survival success. Music, storytelling, and other entertainment systems that provide psychological relief and education during long winter evenings represent advanced understanding of human social needs. These activities serve multiple functions simultaneously: education, entertainment, social bonding, and cultural preservation. The seasonal rhythm that governs the entire annual cycle of life demonstrates sophisticated understanding of ecological systems and resource management. The timing of hunting, gathering, travel, and settlement activities follows patterns that have been optimized through generations of experience and observation. Migration patterns that move entire communities across vast distances following resource availability demonstrate remarkable organizational capabilities and environmental knowledge. The logistics of moving hundreds or thousands of people, along with their possessions and shelters, represent complex management challenges solved through traditional organizational methods. The trade systems that connect distant communities and enable resource sharing across vast geographical areas demonstrate sophisticated understanding of economics and diplomacy. Exchange networks that operate without currency or formal institutions show that complex economic relationships can function effectively using traditional organizational methods. The territorial management systems that govern resource use rights and prevent conflicts between different groups demonstrate advanced understanding of resource management and diplomatic negotiation. Traditional methods for managing shared resources provide models that could benefit modern resource management efforts. The environmental management practices that ensure sustainable resource use over extended time periods demonstrate sophisticated understanding of ecological principles and long-term planning. Traditional conservation methods show that human communities can live in harmony with their environment while maintaining high standards of living. The weather prediction systems that enable accurate forecasting using only natural indicators demonstrate remarkable observational skills and meteorological understanding. Traditional weather forecasting methods provide accuracy levels that rival modern technological systems while using only knowledge and observation. The navigation systems that enable accurate travel across featureless terrain under adverse conditions demonstrate advanced understanding of geography and orientation techniques. Traditional navigation methods show that precise positioning and route finding are possible using only natural landmarks and indicators. The timekeeping systems that maintain accurate schedules and seasonal timing without mechanical devices demonstrate sophisticated understanding of astronomical observation and mathematical calculation. Traditional calendars and timing methods provide accuracy sufficient for complex agricultural and social planning. The medical systems that maintain health and treat injuries using only natural materials demonstrate advanced understanding of anatomy, physiology, and pharmacology. Traditional medicine practices show that effective healthcare is possible using only locally available materials and traditional knowledge. The emergency response systems that enable survival during disasters and unexpected challenges demonstrate remarkable organizational capabilities and crisis management skills. Traditional emergency procedures show that effective disaster response is possible using only human resources and traditional organizational methods. As I observe all these interconnected systems working together seamlessly within this single lodge, I'm overwhelmed by the magnitude of human achievement they represent. Each individual technique represents generations of refinement and improvement. Together, they form a complete survival technology that enables not just survival, but genuine comfort and security under conditions that would challenge the most advanced modern systems. The integration of all these systems into a coherent whole demonstrates systems thinking of the highest order. Nothing exists in isolation. Every technique, every tool, every social practice supports and reinforces all the others. The result is a way of life that's not just sustainable but genuinely successful by any reasonable measure. The portability of this entire system adds another dimension to its impressiveness. All of this technology, all of this comfort, all of this security can be packed up and moved to a new location within hours. The flexibility this provides enables communities to follow resources, avoid disasters, and adapt to changing conditions while maintaining their standard of living. The sustainability of these systems over extended time periods proves that human communities can live in harmony with their environment while maintaining high standards of comfort and security. These aren't survival techniques for emergency situations. They're complete lifestyles that supported millions of people for thousands of years. The scalability of these systems, from individual lodges to entire communities to regional populations, demonstrates organizational capabilities that rival anything achieved by modern industrial societies. Traditional organizational methods show that complex social and economic systems can function effectively without bureaucratic institutions or technological infrastructure, and perhaps most remarkably, all of this is accomplished using only human knowledge, human cooperation, and materials that the earth provides naturally. No external supply chains, no manufactured components, no dependence on systems beyond direct human control. It's a demonstration of human potential in its purest form. As the day draws toward evening and I prepare for another night in this remarkable sanctuary, I'm filled with profound gratitude for the privilege of experiencing this demonstration of human achievement. The lodge around me stands as proof that our ancestors were not primitive people struggling for survival, but sophisticated engineers, architects, and social planners who solved complex problems with elegant solutions. The fire burns steadily at the center of this marvel, tended by hands that understand its needs as intimately as they understand their own. The hides continue their eternal vigil against the cold, standing guard over the warmth and safety within. The heating stones prepare for another night of service, ready once again to prove that even the earth itself can be convinced to help sustain human life and comfort. Tomorrow, this entire village could vanish like a mirage, packed up and moved to follow the seasons or the herds or simply the human need for change and adventure. But tonight, it stands as a monument to human ingenuity, a demonstration that no environment is too harsh for people who understand that survival is not about fighting nature, but about finding ways to dance with it. The wind continues its song across the endless plains, but its voice no longer carries threats, only the promise of another night safely spent, another morning to be welcome from within walls that have proven themselves stronger than winter, warmer than fire, and more enduring than the harshest challenges nature can devise. And so the great cycle continues, as it has for countless generations and as it will for countless more, carried forward by the eternal flame of human determination and the accumulated wisdom of people who refuse to accept that any environment could defeat the unlimited potential of human creativity and cooperation. Sleep comes easily in such perfect safety, surrounded by such clear evidence of human triumph over impossible odds, cradled in the knowledge that some achievements are so fundamental, so perfectly adapted to human needs, that they transcend time and circumstance to become eternal lessons in what our species can accomplish when necessity meets imagination, and both are guided by the patient wisdom of generations. The lodge dreams around me, its systems working through the night with the reliability of heartbeat and breath, proving once more that the greatest technologies are often the simplest ones, the ones that work with nature rather than against it, the ones that can be understood and maintained by human hands and human minds, the ones that create not just survival, but genuine comfort, security, and the space for dreams to flourish even in the heart of winter's domain. As the second night approaches in this remarkable sanctuary, I find myself even more deeply appreciative of the intricate ballet of survival and comfort that plays out around me. The evening preparations begin with the same ritualistic precision I observed the night before, but now I understand the deeper significance of each action, the accumulated wisdom embedded in every gesture. The transformation of day into night within the lodge is orchestrated through a series of subtle adjustments that demonstrate the inhabitants' intimate understanding of their environment's rhythms. As the daylight begins to fade beyond the smoke hole, additional fuel is added to the fire, not randomly, but according to carefully calculated needs based on the expected temperature drop. The wind conditions forecast through traditional weather reading and the specific requirements of the night ahead. The heating stones undergo their daily resurrection, emerging from their resting places around the fire pit to begin another cycle of thermal service. I watch with new appreciation as they're selected, heated, and prepared for deployment, each step following protocols refined through countless repetitions. The knowledge required to perform these tasks effectively represents a curriculum more comprehensive than most modern technical training programs. The evening meal preparations reveal another layer of sophistication in the lodge's operational systems. Food storage areas that I hadn't fully appreciated during my first night reveal themselves as complex preservation and inventory management systems. Different types of preserved foods are organized according to principles that consider nutritional balance, storage requirements, seasonal availability, and preparation complexity. The cooking techniques employed for evening meals demonstrate remarkable efficiency and resource conservation. Multiple food items are prepared simultaneously using different heat zones within the fire system, each receiving exactly the temperature treatment required for optimal results. Water for various purposes is heated in a precisely orchestrated sequence that minimizes fuel consumption while ensuring adequate supplies for all needs. The social dynamics of meal preparation and consumption reveal cultural systems of remarkable sophistication. Work assignments flow naturally according to expertise and availability, creating an organic division of labor that maximizes efficiency while maintaining social cohesion. Children participate at levels appropriate to their abilities, receiving practical education while contributing meaningfully to the community's welfare. Conversation during the evening meal serves multiple functions beyond simple social interaction. Information is exchanged about weather conditions, resource locations, community news, and technical innovations. Stories are told that serve educational purposes while providing entertainment. Plans are made for future activities that require coordination among multiple community members. The cleanup and organization that follows the meal demonstrates resource conservation principles that would impress modern environmental engineers. Nothing is wasted. Food scraps serve as fuel supplements, cooking water is repurposed for cleaning tasks, and every tool and container is cleaned and stored according to systems that ensure optimal preservation and easy access. The bedtime preparations reveal the full complexity of the lodge's thermal management systems. The arrangement of sleeping areas, the distribution of heated stones, the adjustment of covering materials, and the positioning of individuals all follow patterns that optimize heat distribution, while ensuring personal comfort and safety. The social protocols that govern shared sleeping arrangements demonstrate sophisticated understanding of privacy, safety, and community dynamics. Individual needs are balanced against group requirements through traditional systems that provide appropriate accommodation for people of different ages, relationships, and social positions. The night watch responsibilities that ensure continuous fire tending and community security are allocated according to traditional systems that balance individual capability with community needs. The rotation of duties ensures that no individual bears excessive burden while maintaining the vigilance necessary for survival and security. Sleep patterns within the lodge adapt to the environmental constraints and opportunities of winter survival. The extended darkness of winter nights is accommodated through social and personal rhythms that maximize rest while maintaining necessary community functions. Individual sleep needs are balanced against community requirements through flexible arrangements that provide optimal results for all participants. The dream life that flourishes in such perfect security takes on characteristics shaped by the unique environment and lifestyle of winter lodge living. The safety and comfort provided by the lodge's systems create conditions where the unconscious mind can process experiences, consolidate learning, and explore creative possibilities without the constant vigilance required in less secure environments. The morning awakening process reveals another aspect of the lodge's sophisticated social and technical systems. The transition from sleep to active participation in community life follows patterns that minimize disruption while ensuring necessary tasks are accomplished efficiently. Individual rhythms are accommodated within community needs through flexible systems that optimize both personal and group welfare. The daily maintenance tasks that keep the lodge systems functioning optimally are distributed among community members according to traditional protocols that ensure continuity while providing opportunities for skill development and knowledge transfer. Each task contributes to the overall system maintenance while serving educational functions for participating individuals. The weather assessment activities that guide daily planning demonstrate remarkable observational skills and meteorological understanding. Traditional weather prediction methods provide accuracy that enables effective planning while using only natural indicators and accumulated experiential knowledge. The integration of weather information into daily decision-making shows sophisticated planning capabilities. The resource management activities that maintain adequate supplies for community needs demonstrate advanced understanding of inventory control and conservation principles. Traditional resource allocation systems ensure equitable distribution while maintaining reserves necessary for emergency situations and unexpected challenges. The maintenance and repair activities that keep tools and equipment in optimal condition represent sophisticated understanding of materials science and engineering principles. Traditional maintenance methods ensure equipment reliability while using only locally available materials and traditional techniques. The social maintenance activities that preserve community cohesion and resolve interpersonal conflicts demonstrate advanced understanding of human psychology and group dynamics. Traditional conflict resolution methods maintain social harmony while providing appropriate mechanisms for addressing individual grievances and community concerns. The cultural maintenance activities that preserve knowledge, traditions, and community identity demonstrate sophisticated understanding of education and cultural preservation. Traditional knowledge transfer methods ensure accurate transmission of crucial information while maintaining cultural continuity and community identity. The physical maintenance activities that preserve individual health and fitness demonstrate advanced understanding of human physiology and preventive medicine. Traditional health maintenance practices provide effective healthcare while using only natural materials and traditional knowledge systems. As I settle into my third night within this remarkable sanctuary, my appreciation for its comprehensive sophistication has deepened immeasurably. What initially impressed me as ingenious survival technology has revealed itself as something far more profound, a complete lifestyle system that provides not just survival, but genuine prosperity under conditions that would challenge the most advanced modern technologies. The efficiency ratios achieved by these traditional systems surpass anything accomplished by modern industrial societies. The energy inputs required to maintain comfort and security are minimal compared to the outputs achieved. The resource conservation principles embedded in every aspect of lodge life demonstrate sustainability practices that modern societies are only beginning to understand. The reliability characteristics of these systems exceed those of most modern technologies. The lodge systems continue to function effectively under extreme conditions that would disable modern heating, ventilation, and comfort systems. The maintenance requirements are minimal and can be satisfied using only human knowledge and locally available materials. The adaptability features built into these systems enable them to function effectively under widely varying conditions and circumstances. The same basic technologies that provide comfort and security in Arctic conditions can be modified for use in temperate desert or tropical environments. The portability characteristics enable rapid relocation while maintaining full functionality. The learning curve associated with mastering these systems, while lengthy, produces individuals with comprehensive competence in all aspects of survival and comfort maintenance. The knowledge required is intellectually demanding, but remains within human capability without external technological assistance. The social integration characteristics of these systems promote community cooperation and mutual dependence in ways that strengthen rather than weaken individual capability and social cohesion. The work requirements are distributed among community members in ways that provide meaningful participation for individuals of all ages and abilities. The psychological benefits provided by these systems include not just physical comfort and security, but also the deep satisfaction that comes from mastering complex challenges through human intelligence and cooperation. The sense of accomplishment and self-reliance fostered by these systems contributes significantly to individual and community mental health. The cultural richness that flourishes within these systems demonstrates that high levels of artistic and intellectual achievement are possible even under survival conditions. The art, music, literature, and philosophical systems that developed within traditional winter communities rival the achievements of any civilization in human history. The innovation potential within these systems continues to generate improvements and adaptations that demonstrate ongoing refinement and development. Traditional technologies are not static systems but living, evolving methodologies that continue to respond to changing conditions and new insights. The knowledge preservation systems that maintain these technologies across generations demonstrate sophisticated understanding of education and information management. The methods used to ensure accurate transmission of complex technical knowledge without written records represent remarkable achievements in human communication and learning. The quality control systems that maintain performance standards across different practitioners and communities demonstrate sophisticated understanding of standardization and excellence maintenance. Traditional quality assurance methods ensure consistent results, while allowing for individual innovation and local adaptation. The scalability characteristics of these systems enable them to function effectively for individual families, extended communities, or entire regional populations. The organizational principles that govern small lodge communities can be extended to coordinate the activities of hundreds or thousands of people across vast geographical areas. The emergency response capabilities built into these systems enable effective reaction to disasters, resource shortages, and other crisis situations. The redundancy and flexibility features ensure that community survival remains possible even when normal systems are disrupted or destroyed. The economic efficiency achieved by these systems provides high standards of living while using only renewable resources and human labor. The absence of external supply chains or manufactured components creates economic independence that modern societies cannot match. The environmental harmony maintained by these systems enables indefinite sustainability without resource depletion or environmental degradation. Traditional resource management practices demonstrate that human communities can live in prosperity while actually improving rather than damaging their environmental support systems. The diplomatic and trade systems that connect different communities enable resource sharing, knowledge exchange, and cultural interaction without the conflict and exploitation that characterize many modern international relationships. Traditional diplomatic methods provide models for international cooperation that could benefit modern global society. The military and defense systems that protect communities from threats demonstrate effective security methods that rely on human courage, intelligence, and cooperation rather than technological superiority. Traditional defense strategies show that security is possible without the massive resource investments required by modern military systems. The transportation and communication systems that connect distant communities and enable coordination across vast distances demonstrate remarkable organizational capabilities that function without technological infrastructure. Traditional communication networks provide information transfer and coordination capabilities that rival modern electronic systems. The time and space management systems that coordinate complex activities across large populations and geographical areas demonstrate sophisticated planning and organizational capabilities. Traditional scheduling and coordination methods enable complex projects and social activities without the bureaucratic infrastructure required by modern organizational systems. As I lie in the perfect comfort of my fur-covered sleeping platform, surrounded by the gentle warmth of carefully positioned heating stones, and protected by hide walls that have proven themselves stronger than winter itself, I'm overwhelmed by gratitude for the opportunity to experience this demonstration of human achievement at its finest. The fire burns steadily at the center of this technological marvel, tended by hands that understand its needs as intimately as they understand the rhythms of their own hearts. The smoke rises in its eternal spiral toward the stars, carrying with it the breath of human triumph over conditions that seem designed to make life impossible. The heating stones radiate their stored energy through the carefully arranged furs, creating zones of perfect comfort that make the killing cold outside seem like a distant memory. The ventilation systems maintain perfect air quality while conserving precious heat, demonstrating mastery of atmospheric science that rivals anything achieved by modern engineering. The social systems that govern this remarkable community continue their quiet work of maintaining harmony, sharing resources, and ensuring that every individual receives appropriate care and consideration. The cultural systems preserve and transmit the accumulated wisdom of countless generations while providing entertainment, education, and spiritual sustenance. Outside, the wind continues its assault on the plains, but its voice no longer carries threats. Only the promise of another night safely spent in the heart of one of humanity's greatest achievements. The endless white expanse stretches to the horizon and beyond, beautiful in its terrible severity but powerless to penetrate this sanctuary of human intelligence and cooperation. The village around me sleeps in similar comfort and security, each lodge a monument to the same principles and techniques that have made my safety possible. Hundreds of people rest peacefully in perfect warmth, while winter rages impotently outside their carefully engineered walls. This is more than survival. It's proof that human beings, working together and building on the accumulated wisdom of their ancestors, can create conditions of genuine prosperity anywhere on Earth, regardless of how hostile the environment might appear. The technologies that surround me represent the finest achievements of human intelligence applied to the fundamental challenges of existence. The knowledge systems that make these achievements possible demonstrate that true education is not about accumulating information, but about developing the wisdom to work in harmony with natural systems while meeting human needs for comfort, security, and meaning. The communities that master these systems achieve levels of sustainability, prosperity, and social cohesion that modern societies struggle to approach. The individual competence developed through mastery of these systems creates people who are genuinely self-reliant, while remaining deeply connected to their communities. The balance between individual capability and social cooperation achieved by these systems provides models that could transform modern social organization. The environmental integration accomplished by these systems shows that human prosperity and environmental health are not competing goals, but complementary objectives that can be achieved simultaneously through intelligent planning and respectful resource use. As sleep claims me once again in this perfect sanctuary, I carry with me profound appreciation for the demonstration of human potential I've witnessed. The lodge around me stands as proof that no challenge is too great for human intelligence guided by wisdom, supported by cooperation, and motivated by the determination to create better conditions for future generations. The great cycle of seasons continues its eternal rhythm, but here in this circle of lodges, winter has been transformed from enemy to friend, from threat to opportunity, from season of death to season of rest and renewal. The fires burn through the night, the stones hold their heat, and human dreams flourish in perfect safety, carrying forward the endless story of our species' refusal to be defeated by any challenge nature can devise. Tomorrow may bring new challenges, new opportunities, new demonstrations of the unlimited potential that emerges when human creativity confronts necessity. But tonight, surrounded by the evidence of our ancestors' greatest achievements, I rest in the knowledge that no winter lasts forever, no night is too dark, and no environment is too harsh for people who understand that the greatest technology is not made of metal and electricity, but of knowledge, cooperation, and the eternal human determination to create warmth and light in the coldest, darkest places on earth. The lodge breathes around me, its systems working with the reliability of life itself, proving once more that the most sophisticated technologies are often the simplest ones, the ones that work with nature rather than against it, the ones that can be understood and maintained by human hands and minds, the ones that create not just survival, but genuine comfort and the space where dreams can flourish, even in winter's deepest heart. And so the night passes in perfect peace, tended by the eternal flame that burns at the center of human civilization, warmed by stones that hold the sun's energy in their ancient hearts, protected by walls that have learned to turn winter's fury into winter's embrace, surrounded by the quiet breathing of a community that has mastered the art of turning survival into prosperity, necessity into comfort, and winter into just another season to be lived through with grace, dignity, and the unshakable knowledge that human intelligence, when guided by wisdom and supported by love, can overcome any challenge and create islands of warmth and safety anywhere under heaven's dome. The deep hours of night bring their own particular magic to the lodge, a time when the systems that sustain life settle into their most efficient rhythms. The fire burns with steady consistency, its flames dancing in patterns that speak to perfect combustion ratios achieved through generations of refinement. The heated stones pulse with their stored warmth, creating thermal currents that circulate through the carefully arranged bedding, like the gentle breathing of the earth itself. In these quiet hours, when the wind outside has settled into a steady whisper across the frozen plains, I find myself contemplating the broader implications of what I've experienced. This lodge, this village, this entire way of life represents something far more significant than clever survival techniques. It demonstrates a fundamental truth about human nature that modern civilization has largely forgotten, that our species' greatest strength lies not in our ability to dominate nature, but in our capacity to understand it so deeply that we can work in perfect harmony with its most challenging expressions. The buffalo hides that surround me have become more than walls. They're manifestos written in organic materials, declarations that human beings refuse to be limited by environmental constraints. Each sewn seam represents a victory of intelligence over adversity. Each carefully positioned pole a testament to the power of observation and experimentation applied consistently across generations. The mathematical precision embedded in every aspect of this lodge's construction reveals itself most clearly in these quiet hours when the subtleties of its operation become apparent. The angle at which the smoke hole opens to the sky isn't arbitrary. It's calculated to provide optimal draft under the widest possible range of wind conditions. The spacing between the lodge poles follows ratios that maximize structural strength while minimizing material requirements. Even the positioning of storage areas around the lodge's perimeter demonstrates sophisticated understanding of weight distribution, accessibility, and protection from temperature fluctuations. Personal belongings, tools, and supplies are arranged according to principles that consider frequency of use, environmental sensitivity, and emergency accessibility. It's organizational engineering disguised as casual arrangement. The acoustic properties of the lodge reveal additional layers of sophisticated design. The curved hide walls and conical shape create acoustic focusing effects that enable quiet conversations to be heard clearly, while outside sounds are muffled to gentle whispers. The crackling of the fire becomes amplified and enriched, creating a natural sound environment that promotes relaxation and sleep. But perhaps most remarkably, these acoustic properties are adjustable. By manipulating the tension of various hide panels and adjusting the position of interior furnishings, the lodge's inhabitants can modify its acoustic characteristics to suit different activities: intimate conversation, storytelling performances, ceremonial activities, or restful sleep. The psychological effects of living within such perfectly engineered comfort become apparent during these deep night hours, when the mind processes the day's experiences. The sense of absolute security provided by the lodge's systems creates conditions where stress dissolves completely, allowing consciousness to explore creative and philosophical realms that remain inaccessible under survival pressure. The dreams that emerge in such perfect safety take on characteristics shaped by the unique environment of winter lodge life. Freed from the constant vigilance required for survival in hostile environments, the unconscious mind can engage in the kinds of deep processing that foster innovation, artistic creation, and spiritual insight. The community sleep patterns that develop within shared lodge spaces demonstrate sophisticated understanding of human psychology and social dynamics. Individual sleep cycles are naturally coordinated through subtle environmental cues and social rhythms, creating harmonious rest patterns that maximize both individual recovery and group cohesion. The night watch responsibilities that ensure continuous fire tending and community security become opportunities for contemplation and skill development. The individuals who take their turns at fire maintenance often use these quiet hours for personal projects, meditation, or careful observation of the natural world beyond the lodge walls. The relationship between the lodge's interior environment and the natural world outside becomes particularly apparent during the deep night hours, when temperature differentials reach their maximum. The contrast between the perfect comfort within and the lethal conditions just inches away serves as a constant reminder of the remarkable achievement these systems represent. Weather monitoring activities that continue throughout the night demonstrate the inhabitants' intimate connection with their environment, despite being sheltered from its harshest effects. Traditional weather prediction methods enable accurate forecasting of changing conditions, allowing for proactive adjustments to heating, ventilation, and other systems. The fuel management protocols that maintain optimal fire conditions through the night represent sophisticated understanding of combustion science and resource conservation. Different fuel combinations are used for different nighttime requirements: long-burning logs for sustained heat, quick-burning materials for rapid temperature adjustment, and special fuel combinations for specific atmospheric conditions. The air quality management systems that maintain perfect breathing conditions throughout extended periods of occupation demonstrate advanced understanding of atmospheric science. The balance between fresh air intake and heat conservation is maintained through subtle adjustments that respond to changing conditions while preserving optimal comfort levels. The moisture management systems that prevent condensation and humidity problems demonstrate sophisticated understanding of thermodynamics and material science. Traditional techniques for controlling atmospheric moisture create comfortable conditions while preventing the dampness that could compromise insulation systems or create unhealthy living conditions. The light management systems that provide appropriate illumination for nighttime activities while conserving fuel and maintaining night vision demonstrate advanced understanding of human visual physiology and energy conservation. Different lighting techniques serve different purposes while maximizing efficiency and comfort. The scent management systems that maintain pleasant atmospheric conditions demonstrate understanding of aromatherapy principles and psychological comfort factors. Traditional techniques for managing air scents create environments that promote rest, health, and psychological well-being while using only natural materials. The temperature zone management systems that create different thermal environments within the single lodge space demonstrate sophisticated understanding of human comfort requirements and heating system optimization. Different areas of the lodge maintain different temperatures appropriate for different activities and individual preferences. The privacy management systems that enable individual solitude within shared community spaces demonstrate advanced understanding of human psychological needs and social organization. Traditional techniques for creating personal space within group environments provide appropriate accommodation for individual requirements while maintaining community cohesion. The safety management systems that ensure protection from fire hazards, structural failures, and other potential dangers demonstrate comprehensive understanding of risk assessment and prevention strategies. Traditional safety protocols provide effective protection while maintaining the system's efficiency and convenience. The emergency preparedness systems that ensure survival capability under disaster conditions demonstrate sophisticated planning and resource management. Traditional emergency procedures provide effective responses to various crisis scenarios while maintaining community organization and individual safety. As the night deepens toward its darkest hours, the lodge's systems settle into their most refined operational modes. The fire burns with steady economical efficiency, producing maximum heat with minimal fuel consumption. The heating stones reach their optimal thermal equilibrium, radiating stored energy in perfect harmony with the lodge's heating requirements. The ventilation systems achieve their most precise balance, maintaining perfect air quality while conserving every possible degree of warmth. The insulation systems perform at peak efficiency, creating thermal barriers so effective that the temperature differential between inside and outside seems physically impossible. The social systems that govern nighttime community life demonstrate remarkable sophistication in their accommodation of individual needs within group constraints. Sleep schedules, privacy requirements, and personal comfort preferences are all balanced through traditional protocols that maximize satisfaction for all participants. The cultural systems that preserve community identity and knowledge during these quiet hours continue their essential work of education and cultural transmission. Storytelling, traditional music, and other cultural activities adapted for nighttime lodge life serve multiple functions simultaneously: entertainment, education, social bonding, and cultural preservation. The spiritual systems that provide meaning and connection during these contemplative hours demonstrate advanced understanding of human psychological and spiritual needs. Traditional spiritual practices adapted for winter lodge life create opportunities for personal growth and community spiritual development. The artistic systems that flourish even under survival conditions demonstrate that human creativity remains essential even when basic survival is the primary concern. Decorative arts, music composition, story creation, and other artistic activities contribute significantly to psychological well-being and cultural richness. The philosophical systems that emerge from the unique perspective of winter lodge life demonstrate sophisticated thinking about fundamental questions of existence, meaning, and human purpose. The contemplative opportunities provided by long winter nights foster intellectual development that rivals any academic tradition. The innovation systems that continue to refine and improve traditional technologies demonstrate ongoing intellectual vitality and problem-solving capability. Traditional technologies are not static systems, but living methodologies that continue to evolve and improve through ongoing experimentation and refinement. The knowledge preservation systems that ensure accurate transmission of complex information across generations demonstrate remarkable achievements in education and communication. Traditional methods for maintaining technical and cultural knowledge without written records represent sophisticated solutions to fundamental information management challenges. The quality assurance systems that maintain performance standards across different practitioners and locations demonstrate understanding of standardization principles while allowing for individual innovation and local adaptation. Traditional quality control methods ensure consistent results while fostering continued improvement and development. The research and development systems that enable ongoing technological advancement demonstrate sophisticated approaches to systematic investigation and improvement. Traditional experimental methods provide effective means for testing innovations while maintaining safety and efficiency standards. The documentation systems that preserve important discoveries and innovations demonstrate creative solutions to information storage and retrieval challenges. Traditional documentation methods using symbolic systems, mnemonic techniques, and physical artifacts provide effective knowledge management without written records. The communication systems that enable coordination and information sharing within and between communities demonstrate sophisticated understanding of information transfer and organizational coordination. Traditional communication networks provide effective connectivity across vast distances without technological infrastructure. The decision-making systems that govern community choices and resource allocation demonstrate advanced understanding of group psychology and organizational management. Traditional decision-making processes provide effective governance while maintaining individual participation and satisfaction. The conflict resolution systems that maintain social harmony within close-quarters living arrangements demonstrate sophisticated understanding of human psychology and social dynamics. Traditional dispute resolution methods provide effective mechanisms for addressing conflicts while preserving community relationships. The leadership development systems that prepare individuals for community responsibility demonstrate comprehensive understanding of human development and organizational needs. Traditional leadership training methods produce effective leaders while maintaining democratic participation and individual growth opportunities. The education systems that develop individual competence and community knowledge demonstrate remarkable achievements in human development and skills training. Traditional educational methods produce individuals with comprehensive competence while maintaining cultural continuity and community values. The healthcare systems that maintain individual and community health demonstrate advanced understanding of human physiology and medical treatment. Traditional healthcare methods provide effective medical care while using only natural materials and traditional knowledge systems. The fitness and conditioning systems that maintain physical capabilities necessary for survival and comfort demonstrate understanding of human physiology and exercise science. Traditional fitness methods keep individuals in optimal condition while integrating naturally with daily survival activities. The nutrition systems that ensure optimal health and energy demonstrate sophisticated understanding of human dietary requirements and food science. Traditional nutrition practices provide complete nourishment while using only locally available resources. The mental health systems that maintain psychological well-being under challenging conditions demonstrate advanced understanding of human psychology and stress management. Traditional mental health practices provide effective psychological support while strengthening individual resilience and community relationships. The social development systems that foster healthy relationships and community integration demonstrate sophisticated understanding of human social needs and group dynamics. Traditional social practices create strong community bonds while respecting individual autonomy and personal growth. The cultural development systems that preserve and enhance community identity and values demonstrate advanced understanding of cultural preservation and transmission. Traditional cultural practices maintain community cohesion while allowing for creative expression and cultural evolution. The spiritual development systems that provide meaning and connection demonstrate understanding of human spiritual needs and religious psychology. Traditional spiritual practices foster individual growth while strengthening community bonds and cultural identity. As dawn approaches once again, creeping slowly across the frozen landscape beyond the lodge walls, I prepare for my final morning in this remarkable sanctuary. The experience has been transformative in ways I couldn't have anticipated when I first approached the column of smoke rising from this winter village. The fire that has burned steadily through another night continues its eternal service, maintained by hands that understand its needs as intimately as they understand the requirements of their own bodies. The heated stones continue their thermal service, radiating stored energy through carefully arranged furs with the reliability of sunrise itself. The hide walls that have stood guard against another night of killing cold show no signs of stress or failure. They remain as solid and protective as fortress walls, proving once again that organic materials when properly selected and prepared, can provide protection superior to many manufactured alternatives. The ventilation systems that have maintained perfect air quality through another extended period of occupation continue their invisible work with mathematical precision. The balance they achieve between fresh air supply and heat conservation represents engineering excellence that rivals any modern HVAC system. The social systems that have governed another night of shared community life demonstrate their continued effectiveness in promoting both individual comfort and group harmony. The protocols that manage privacy, resource sharing, and collective responsibility have functioned seamlessly, creating conditions where community life enhances rather than restricts individual well-being. The morning routines that begin with the first hint of daylight follow patterns refined through countless repetitions. The transition from night mode to day mode operations occurs smoothly and efficiently, demonstrating the flexibility and adaptability built into every aspect of the lodge's operational systems. The breakfast preparations reveal once again the sophisticated food management systems that maintain nutrition and variety even under winter survival conditions. The preserved foods that emerge from storage areas represent the culmination of complex preservation techniques that ensure adequate supplies throughout the harshest seasons. The planning activities that organize the day's work and resource management demonstrate ongoing sophistication in organizational management and strategic thinking. The decisions made each morning about priorities, resource allocation, and work assignments show systematic approaches to complex logistical challenges. The weather assessment activities that guide daily planning continue to demonstrate remarkable observational skills and meteorological understanding. The accuracy achieved through traditional weather prediction methods provides reliable information for effective decision-making using only natural indicators and experiential knowledge. The maintenance activities that preserve the lodge's systems and equipment demonstrate ongoing commitment to excellence and long-term sustainability. The attention given to preventive maintenance and system optimization ensures continued reliability while extending equipment life and performance. The educational activities that continue the transmission of knowledge and skills demonstrate ongoing commitment to community development and cultural preservation. The informal but highly effective teaching that occurs throughout daily activities ensures that crucial knowledge passes intact to each new generation. As I prepare to leave this remarkable sanctuary and return to my modern world, I carry with me profound appreciation for the demonstration of human achievement I've witnessed. The lodge around me represents more than ingenious survival technology. It's proof that human beings can create conditions of genuine prosperity under any circumstances when intelligence, cooperation, and wisdom combine to address fundamental challenges. The systems I've observed and experienced demonstrate that the most sophisticated technologies are often the simplest ones, the ones that work with natural systems rather than against them, the ones that can be understood and maintained by human knowledge and skill, the ones that create not just survival but genuine comfort and the conditions where human culture can flourish. The village around me stands as testament to the unlimited potential that emerges when human creativity confronts necessity, and both are guided by the accumulated wisdom of generations. Each lodge in the circle represents the same principles and achievements that have made my safety and comfort possible. Intelligence applied to natural materials, cooperation focused on common challenges, and determination that refuses to accept defeat. The smoke that continues to rise from the village carries with it more than the products of combustion. It carries the breath of human triumph over conditions designed to make life impossible. Each column of smoke represents a victory of mind over matter, of cooperation over competition, of wisdom over ignorance. The wind that continues to flow across the endless plains no longer sounds like a threat but like applause. Nature's acknowledgement that human beings have learned to dance with its harshest expressions rather than fight against them. The cold that could kill in minutes has been transformed into merely another environmental factor to be accommodated and even utilized. The landscape that stretches to the horizon in every direction no longer appears hostile but beautiful. A challenging but manageable environment where human communities have learned to thrive through the application of intelligence, cooperation, and respect for natural systems. The endless white expanse represents opportunity rather than obstacle. As I step outside the lodge for the final time and breathe the sharp winter air that no longer seems quite so hostile, I'm filled with gratitude for the privilege of experiencing this demonstration of human potential. The knowledge I carry away extends far beyond survival techniques. It encompasses a completely different understanding of what human beings are capable of when necessity meets imagination. The path that leads away from this village crosses the same frozen landscape I traversed to reach this place, but my perception of it has been fundamentally altered. What once seemed like a hostile wilderness now reveals itself as a challenging but manageable environment where human intelligence has learned to create islands of warmth, safety, and prosperity. The village behind me continues its daily rhythms, each lodge maintaining the same systems and achieving the same remarkable results that made my visit possible. The fires will continue to burn, the stones will continue to heat, and the hides will continue to stand guard against the cold, proving day after day that human ingenuity knows no limits. The lessons I carry forward extend far beyond the technical details of winter survival. They encompass fundamental truths about human nature, community cooperation, environmental harmony, and the unlimited potential that emerges when wisdom guides intelligence, and both are motivated by love and respect for future generations. The story of this lodge, this village, this entire way of life, ultimately tells us that our ancestors were not primitive people struggling desperately for survival, but sophisticated engineers, architects, and social planners who solved complex problems with elegant solutions that sustained entire civilizations for thousands of years. Their achievements demonstrate that comfort, security, and prosperity are not modern inventions but ancient arts that can be practiced anywhere on Earth when human intelligence is guided by wisdom and supported by cooperation. The technologies they developed prove that the most sophisticated solutions often appear simple because they work in harmony with natural systems rather than against them. As I carry these insights forward into my own world, I'm reminded that the challenges we face today, environmental, social, technological, are not unprecedented. Human beings have always faced seemingly impossible challenges and found ways to overcome them through intelligence, cooperation, and determination guided by wisdom. The fires that burn in winter lodges across the frozen plains continue their eternal service, tended by human hands that understand that fire is more than heat and light. It's the symbol of human determination to create warmth and safety in the coldest, darkest places on Earth. These fires will burn long after I've returned to my modern world, carrying forward the eternal flame of human ingenuity that transforms challenge into opportunity and winter into just another season to be lived through with grace, dignity, and the unshakable knowledge that human potential knows no limits. The great cycle of seasons continues, but here in these circles of lodges, winter has been conquered not through force but through understanding, not through technology but through wisdom, not through individual effort but through community cooperation that transforms vulnerability into strength. And so our journey through this winter wonderland concludes where it began, with smoke rising into the cold sky, carrying with it the breath of human triumph over impossible odds. But now we understand that this smoke represents far more than survival. It represents proof that human beings, working together and building on the accumulated wisdom of their ancestors, can create conditions of genuine prosperity anywhere under heaven's dome. The night passes, the dawn arrives, and the eternal dance between human intelligence and natural challenge continues, each day bringing new proof that when wisdom guides knowledge, and both are motivated by love, there is no environment too harsh, no challenge too great, and no winter too long for people who understand that the greatest technology is not made of metal and circuits, but of knowledge, cooperation, and the eternal human determination to create warmth and light wherever darkness threatens to prevail. Sleep well, fellow travellers, in the knowledge that the fires still burn, the stones still hold their heat, and human ingenuity continues to prove that no challenge is too great for minds that refuse to accept defeat, hearts that remain committed to community, and hands that know how to tend the sacred flames that keep hope alive through the darkest nights and coldest seasons of the human experience. The memory of this extraordinary journey lingers long after the physical experience has ended, like the warmth of heated stones that continues to radiate comfort even after the fire has burned low. What I witnessed in that winter village transcends simple survival techniques. It represents a complete philosophy of existence that demonstrates humanity's capacity to not merely endure harsh conditions, but to transform them into opportunities for prosperity and growth. The Buffalo Hide Lodge where I spent those transformative nights stands as more than shelter. It serves as a monument to human intelligence applied with surgical precision to the fundamental challenges of existence. Every sewn seam, every positioned pole, every carefully calculated angle represents countless hours of observation, experimentation, and refinement carried out by generations of people who refused to accept that environment should dictate the limits of human comfort and security. The heating systems that maintained perfect comfort while winter raged just inches away demonstrate engineering principles so fundamental and effective that they reveal the arbitrary nature of many modern technological solutions. The heated stones, the thermal layers, the ventilation controls, all of these work together to create environmental management capabilities that surpass many contemporary systems while using only materials that the earth provides naturally. The social systems that govern daily life within the lodge reveal organizational principles of remarkable sophistication, demonstrating that complex communities can function effectively without the bureaucratic structures that characterize modern societies. Decision-making processes, resource allocation methods, conflict resolution systems, and educational practices all operate with efficiency and fairness that modern institutions struggle to achieve. The sustainability characteristics of the entire winter lodge lifestyle prove that human prosperity and environmental health are not competing objectives, but complementary goals that can be achieved simultaneously through intelligent planning and respectful resource use. The absence of waste, the complete utilization of natural materials, and the renewable nature of all systems demonstrate ecological wisdom that contemporary society is only beginning to understand. The portability features that allow entire communities to relocate while maintaining their standard of living demonstrate organizational capabilities that rival the logistics achievements of modern industrial societies. The ability to pack up an entire village and reconstruct it at a new location within days represents social coordination and technical competence of the highest order. The knowledge preservation systems that maintain complex technical and cultural information across generations without written records demonstrate sophisticated solutions to fundamental information management challenges. Traditional educational methods that produce individuals with comprehensive competence while maintaining cultural continuity represent achievements in human development that formal educational institutions struggle to match. The innovation capabilities that continue to refine and improve traditional technologies demonstrate ongoing intellectual vitality and problem-solving ability. Traditional systems are not static methodologies, but living technologies that continue to evolve and adapt through systematic experimentation and careful observation of results. The resilience characteristics built into these systems enable effective response to disasters, resource shortages, and other crisis situations that would overwhelm more complex technological solutions. The redundancy, flexibility, and local resource dependence create survival capabilities that remain functional, even when normal support systems are disrupted or destroyed. The quality of life achieved through these systems surpasses mere survival to create conditions where art, music, literature, and philosophical development can flourish, even under the most challenging environmental conditions. The cultural richness that emerges from winter lodge communities demonstrates that intellectual and artistic achievement require not technological complexity, but social stability and individual security. The health outcomes associated with traditional winter lodge lifestyles demonstrate superior fitness, longevity, and disease resistance compared to many modern populations. The integration of physical activity with daily survival tasks, the stress reduction provided by community support systems, and the nutritional adequacy of traditional diets create health profiles that contemporary medical systems struggle to achieve. The psychological benefits of mastering comprehensive survival systems include not only the security that comes from self-reliance, but also the deep satisfaction derived from meaningful work and essential community contributions. The sense of accomplishment and purpose fostered by traditional lifestyles contributes significantly to mental health and life satisfaction. The economic efficiency achieved through traditional resource management creates high standards of living while using only renewable materials and human labor. The absence of external supply chains, manufactured components, and monetary systems creates economic independence and stability that modern societies cannot match. The diplomatic and trade relationships that connect different winter communities demonstrate sophisticated international relations that enable resource sharing, knowledge exchange, and cultural interaction without the conflict and exploitation that characterize many contemporary global relationships. The military and defense capabilities that protect communities from various threats demonstrate effective security methods that rely on human courage, intelligence, and cooperation rather than technological superiority. Traditional defense strategies provide community protection while maintaining the social cohesion necessary for peaceful daily life. The environmental integration achieved by winter lodge communities shows that human settlements can actually improve rather than degrade their ecological support systems. Traditional resource management practices demonstrate that human communities can live in genuine harmony with their environment while maintaining high standards of comfort and prosperity. The adaptability features of traditional winter technologies enable their application under widely varying environmental conditions and circumstances. The same basic principles that create comfort in Arctic conditions can be modified for use in temperate, desert, or tropical environments, demonstrating universal applicability of fundamental design concepts. The learning systems that transmit complex knowledge and skills across generations represent remarkable achievements in education and human development. Traditional apprenticeship methods produce individuals with comprehensive competence while maintaining innovation capabilities and cultural continuity. The research methodologies that enable ongoing technological development demonstrate sophisticated approaches to systematic investigation and improvement. Traditional experimental techniques provide effective means for testing innovations, while maintaining safety standards and preserving existing capabilities. The communication networks that coordinate activities across vast geographical areas demonstrate organizational capabilities that function effectively without technological infrastructure. Traditional information systems provide coordination and knowledge sharing that enable complex social and economic interactions. The time management systems that coordinate seasonal activities and long-term planning demonstrate sophisticated understanding of cyclical patterns and resource optimization. Traditional scheduling methods enable complex agricultural, hunting, and social activities while maintaining flexibility for unexpected opportunities and challenges. The artistic traditions that flourish within winter lodge communities demonstrate that creative expression remains essential even under survival conditions. Traditional arts serve multiple functions simultaneously: aesthetic pleasure, cultural preservation, educational instruction, and social bonding, while contributing to psychological well-being and community identity. The spiritual systems that provide meaning and connection within traditional communities demonstrate sophisticated understanding of human psychological and existential needs. Traditional spiritual practices foster individual growth, while strengthening community bonds and cultural continuity across generations. The philosophical frameworks that emerge from traditional lifestyles demonstrate deep thinking about fundamental questions of existence, purpose, and human potential. The contemplative opportunities provided by traditional living arrangements foster intellectual development that rivals any academic tradition. As we conclude this extraordinary journey through the winter landscape of human achievement, we carry forward more than technical knowledge about survival systems. We possess a transformed understanding of human potential and the unlimited possibilities that emerge when intelligence, cooperation, and wisdom combine to address fundamental challenges. The lodge that sheltered us through those remarkable nights stands ready to continue its service, demonstrating day after day that human ingenuity can transform any environment from obstacle into opportunity. The fires will continue to burn, tended by hands that understand their essential role in maintaining the flame of human determination. The stones will continue to store and release their warmth, proving that even the earth itself can be convinced to serve human comfort and security. The hides will continue their eternal vigil against the cold, standing as organic barriers that transform winter's fury into winter's embrace. The community will continue its daily rhythms of work, rest, celebration, and growth, demonstrating that social systems based on cooperation and mutual respect can provide both individual fulfillment and collective prosperity. The knowledge will continue to pass from generation to generation, ensuring that these remarkable achievements remain available for future challenges and opportunities. The village will continue to welcome travelers who seek to understand the true potential of human creativity when guided by wisdom and motivated by love for future generations. The smoke will continue to rise from lodge fires, carrying with it the eternal message that no challenge is too great for people who refuse to accept defeat, and somewhere, in winter lodges scattered across the frozen landscape, people will continue to prove that comfort, security, and prosperity are not modern inventions but ancient arts that can be practiced anywhere. Human intelligence meets necessity, and both are guided by the accumulated wisdom of those who came before. The great dance between human creativity and natural challenge continues, each day bringing new proof that when knowledge is guided by wisdom, and both are motivated by love, there is no environment too harsh, no winter too long, and no night too dark for people who understand that the greatest technology is made not of metal and circuits, but of intelligence, cooperation, and the eternal human determination to create warmth and light in the coldest, darkest corners of existence. May the memory of these winter lodges warm you through your own challenging seasons, and may the knowledge of what human beings can achieve when they work together inspire you to face whatever winters may come with confidence, wisdom, and the unshakable faith that no challenge is greater than the combined power of human intelligence and love, working in harmony to create better tomorrows for all who share this remarkable journey we call life. The fires burn on, the stones hold their heat, and the eternal flame of human determination continues to prove that spring always follows winter, dawn always follows darkness, and hope always triumphs over despair for those who know how to tend the sacred fires that keep the light alive in the deepest winter of the human heart.